Windbrook Pride Arts and Entertainment, Take 1.
Hello and welcome to the Windbrook Pride Arts and Entertainment Show. I'm your host, Darryl J. Jenkins. My guest today is Linda A. Duggins. How you doing, Linda?
I'm good, Darryl.
Welcome to Windbrook Pride.
Thank you very much.
All right, tell us a little about yourself.
Oh, God.
A little.
Okay, you're going to get a little. I am the major book lover. I'm a book publicist. I call myself a book lover for justice as well.
All right.
I really am about promoting good, strong stories about black folks, and I really love working with a lot of my writers.
Okay. These are some of your books. I take it right here in front of us.
Yes.
Let's give us the title and scenario about the book.
Okay, well, these are brand new, hot off the press. Start with the Vixen Diaries, Corinne Steffen's title, just pubs September 25th. Made it to the New York Times bestseller list already out the box, number 6. So we're real happy about that. The Vixen Diaries, I think, is pretty self-explanatory, very Vixen-like and diary-esque. True to the Game 2, Teri Woods' second book in the True to the Game series, which will be True to the Game 3. This pub's November 1st, and she continues the story with Gina and Qua, serious love story. Qua is dead from True to the Game 1, but some very interesting things happen in True 2, and I'm sure Terry's fans will be very happy to get their hands on this on November 1st. Grace After Midnight, Felicia Snoop Pearson, young sister from The Wire, born and raised in Baltimore. She was born a 3-pound crack baby, and her parents basically gave her up. She became a ward of the state and was adopted very young, but Felicia is a powerful young sister who is very proud of who she is, and her presence on The Wire has really shaken the industry up.
Excellent. Let's talk about yourself. Where'd you grow up and some background history?
Okay. I am a very proud resident of Queensbridge Housing Projects in Long Island City, Queens. I lived in Queensbridge most of my life. I am currently actually on the Queensbridge Scholarship Fund, which is an organization that has been set up to help young brothers and sisters in Queensbridge and Ravenswood projects. We raise money and help them out in their first few years of college. I have always been a book lover, always been someone interested in the upliftment of our folks, so all of this to me just goes hand in hand in what I do. I'm a member of the National Book Club Conference Board of Directors, as well as the Caribbean International Literary Festival Board of Directors. It seems just about everything I do does involve people, books, cultural aspect, and upliftment. It's real important to me.
All right. And so you're a publisher, you're a writer?
No, not a writer. I'm a closet writer.
You're a closet writer?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You don't let yours out?
Well, it's journaling. And I'm not hounding everybody along the way to publish my book. So.
Okay. All right. So also you're on the radio?
Yes.
Right?
WBAI. I have a wonderful show. I am one of the literary leaders on Off the Page, produced and hosted by Esther Arma. That's a very interesting show where Esther takes people who know about publishing and who don't through all the different facets of neophytes, publishing industry news, and it's a panoramic view of an international cultural approach to books and black people.
All right. And what's the number on the dial and what time and day it comes on?
WBAI 99.5 FM comes on Fridays from 11 a.m. to 12 noon.
Excellent. All right, let's move right along. Let's talk about how did you get into publishing and your love for it.
My mother.
Mom's?
Yeah, I'll blame her and thank her.
Okay.
Yeah, Mom was the Christmas time, it was books, and we didn't think it was strange either, quite frankly. We actually looked forward to the books. We had a few toys here and there, but we really got psyched about books. She did a good job brainwashing us, but it extended through. I never in a million years would have thought that I would be working in the publishing industry. When I went to college, I majored in biology. very much into science. I still like science, but I never really thought that I'd be working with books the way that I am. Growing up, because I was a little tomboy and I liked to hang out and play sports all the time, I never really told my mother I was reading. I was also a closet reader. She really pushed the book thing, and you know how when you're a kid, you do everything but what your parents are telling you to do.
Yes.
So I was like, yeah, Ma, nobody likes reading. But while she was doing other things, I was actually doing a heck of a lot of reading. So I was one of the tomboy living in the library kids. It's sort of a strange dichotomy, especially when the fellas on the block, where you walk by them and they yell, "Hey, Professor, going to the library?" So very interesting.
Okay, that's good. That's good. What about our kids today? Do you find that they're not into the books like kids of old, or is there a new generation of readers?
You know, I think young folks do read. I just think they read a lot of street fiction, urban fiction, and I think it's fine. I'm just happy people are reading. I know that folks talk about all the time, well, you know, if they only read urban fiction or street lit, then it's a bad thing because they're going to get stuck there. That's not necessarily true. There's room for all kinds of books, and I'm just happy to see young folks reading. I think their parents may not be doing some reading, which to me makes a lot of, it really tells you why, if they're not reading, that's a big reason why. You have to do what you want your children to do in your home. They'll read. If you're reading, they'll read as well.
Right, because it's got to have like quiet time, and you have to cut off the TV, cut off the radio, and pick up the books. But I find too that people who read magazines and newspapers are not book readers.
That's a lot of the guys.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the
that's
guys,
true. Yeah, a lot of men. They'll read magazines, newspapers.
Right.
But maybe with a lot of the street genre and different, because even the street genre has different branches to it as well.
True.
You know, people like to say, oh, well, that's just ghetto fiction or urban fiction or whatever they want to call it. But if you take a good look, it splits. So there's something for everybody. I really think the women in these men's lives needs to encourage them a little bit more. Slip a book in between that magazine. You know, talk about the books that you're reading and really try to describe some of the juicier parts to get men interested.
Excellent.
I also find that a lot of men read nonfiction, though. You can get them interested in some nonfiction.
Right, or sports. They do a lot of sports reading.
Right.
All right, so let's talk about some of your people books you publish, some of the authors that's in your...
Been an interesting 6 years. I've been working for, now, Grand Central Publishing. We were Warner Books when I started in 2001. I've worked with quite a few of the African American Christian fiction writers, which is a whole nother genre. Professor Henry Louis Gates Jr., Terrie Williams, Deborah Mathis, John Johnson, he used to be ABC Network news anchor.
Yeah.
Tons and tons of people. I've also worked on a lot of the health books. Most of the health writers that I worked with have not been people of color, but because I know my people need a lot of help in that area as well, I always took an interest in that too. Okay. It really has spanned the spectrum, and to me, books are hot.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. It depends on, what you're looking for and what you're trying to get out of it. When you started to go to college, you said you didn't major in publishing.
Science.
Well, how did you get into that? How did you? Well, like I said, science.
Yeah.
How did you jump from science to publisher?
Well, a lot of it was when Mr. IBM laid me off in '96. I was like, okay, it's something else to do now. And I met a few folks in the publishing industry, branched out, went to an organization and helped co-found the Harlem Book Fair. That was back in '99. Wow. By working with the Harlem Book Fair, I met quite a few different publishers. And every now and again, there was one marketing person I would meet and say, oh, well, if something comes up, give me a call. I may be interested. So she said, well, what do you want to do? I said, if you could do it, I could do it. Just call me. It doesn't matter. A publicist job opened up in August of 2001, 2 weeks exactly before 9/11. Wow. That was a very strange period of time, as you, I'm sure, remember.
Definitely.
Went to Time Warner Book Group, at that time it was called, and just felt like, a fish in water. It felt like home. It felt good. I love working with the authors, part-time psychologists. It's an interesting job.
It definitely has to be, because you seem like you're a people person.
I am.
And that job has to be dealing with people, dealing with the public. And you have to be able to, kind of smooth situations over, because I know it gets kind of rough at times too as well.
Well, I'm the middle child as well. There's 6 siblings in my family.
6 siblings?
And I was in the middle of them, and I was the one calling the meetings. We got to meet, y'all, because there's something going on in this house that don't seem right to me. So it fits.
Okay.
It's a good fit.
Let's talk a little bit about your upbringing. You say you have 6 siblings. What was it like? Because I grew up in the project as well.
Okay.
And
I had a
I'm
ball.
not ashamed. I
had so much fun. I was the kid that we lived on the 4th floor. Mom would look out the window and do the Linda Ann, I know you're not run up and down this block like you ain't got good sense story. That was me. I had fun every single day.
Right.
My brothers, I used to drive crazy. I have 2 older brothers, an older sister, 2 younger sisters, and I was very much into sports. So whenever I felt like joining them on the basketball court, it wasn't much appreciated by them. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
We really did. I mean, we were poor.
Right.
We had
you didn't know
quite
it,
a bit
though.
of government cheese every now and again. But we had a lot of fun. We really did.
Okay.
And we had tons and tons of books in our house. My mother was probably one of the few that had a complete set of encyclopedias, which I thought was so interesting after I grew up, because there were times when we had for dinner, she'd put the candles out and she'd make a nice hot bowl of farina, because that's what we had that day.
Right.
But the books were always there, so lots of classmates and folks in the building would come by, and she would say, okay, go wash your hands. You may use the encyclopedias. You may sit right there. If I see smudge prints and grease or dirt on my books, you getting it. So it was like that. Serious books.
Yeah.
So
I hear you. I know what
I think it's part of the DNA. Actually.
Yeah. That era. That era growing up. Let's talk a little bit about your college days. Where'd you go to school at, and what was college like? That experience.
College was wild. I went to Hofstra, Hofstra University in Hempstead, Long Island.
Right.
I had a really good time in college too. I joined the Black Student Union. I played not intramural sports, but I played on the little teams we set up on campus.
Right.
I had all kinds of friends. Being in the science area, but I also like drama and music. So I had a really interesting spectrum. And coming from Queensbridge was interesting too, because I was a little bit different than the other black students who may have been a little more well off. I was a bit of an anomaly to them somewhat. Okay. But it was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was hard work. It was different. Yeah, Mom threatened to take me out of college a couple of times. I was having a little too much fun.
That they send a signal and straighten you out, right?
Kind of.
Kind of, sort of.
Well, I went back to school much later on, and appreciated a whole lot more then.
Okay. Look, Linda, what if someone wanted to become a publisher? What would be your advice to them? Number 1, you got to read. And I mean read it all. Even if you want to be a published writer, you have to read all kinds of books. If you don't love books, it's going to be hard to work in this industry. It's not like, we're not in the music industry and we're not getting tons and tons of money. But you have to have a real, true love for the written word. I always tell young black people that they should demand to be in publishing, because it's a political statement. We are in these companies, we are changing the culture, and we are making a statement about who we are, what we look like, the way we see ourselves. We are helping to shape and define the way that the world sees black people. We ought not to sit back and wait for others to tell us who we are and what we should look like. Right. They need to be, you got to be inside to make some changes. Definitely. You could do it outside, but when you're inside, it's a little bit different. Okay. Do you find that we're starting to show people that we love ourselves? We're not the people who they try and target us. We're not all criminals. We're not all athletes. We're not all everything that they see visually on TV.
You know, I would hope and pray that that is what it is. But you and I both know this is America.
Right.
And this is institutionalized. So even I am the Director of Multicultural Publicity at this company. I'm sure there's some naysayers, but I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm going to do what I do, and I represent lots of black authors, but I represent all kinds of authors. So it's you just have to be strong within yourself. You have to be clear about who you are. I mean, lots of times black folks come into the doors of corporate America and they act strange. They don't know where they fit. They don't know how they belong, and they don't represent themselves well either. Never mind the other ones telling you, well, I thought all you guys were criminals, blah, blah, blah. No, they're not representing properly, I don't think.
Right.
I like meeting younger folks, younger black people who come into the company, because I always invite them into my office for a little chat. Okay. Always.
I hear you. Ain't nothing wrong with taking them under your wing, because they need that. And I think a lot of us haven't had that done for us.
We haven't.
You know, and that's why I think our culture has shrunk. I'm not going to say die. It has shrunken a lot, because we're not keeping certain things alive. And I think also because of health reasons as well, like the soul food cooking, you know, that's changed a lot. Instead of using pork, now we use smoked turkey and things of that nature. Do you find more cookbooks are coming through the...
You know, every now and again there'll be a celebrity cookbook. I know Patti LaBelle did one a few years back. It would be a great idea for folks to really pay attention to that, because, I mean, you know, without your health, you really don't...
Right. You know,
all of this is for naught.
That's right. This is only show and tell if you don't take care of what's inside.
It's true. It's true. And along with your physical, you really have to handle what's going on inside your soul and your mind, because it really is such a vital, powerful connection. Okay.
Look, let's get your phone number and email address if anybody would like to contact you and find more information about what you do and how you do it.
Okay.
All right.
I will give you an email address.
All right.
It's laduggy2004@yahoo.com. That's laduggy2004@yahoo.com.
Okay. And you have a phone number to be contacted?
Oh, no.
No phone number.
Just an email.
Just an email. You don't want to be called. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I know about it.
I will answer the email.
You answer the email.
I will.
Okay.
I will.
Let's talk about some of the events you've put on. You're the co-founder of the Harlem Book Fair?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about that and some of the other events that you do.
Well, I have not worked with the Harlem Book Fair crew probably since about 01 or 02. That fair is still a wonderful fair. It's changed dramatically over the years since when I first started working with it.
Okay.
The Caribbean cultural event that I work on, the International Book Festival that's held in Antigua, that's a really wonderful international where folks from different islands and the states go over to Antigua, meet authors, go to the beach. Oh, it's a wonderful place. Yeah, that's every November.
Every November.
So, yes, so that's definitely a place to go to.
So you look forward to going there.
Oh, you kidding me? After working like a dog on all the fall books, because you know fall is the busiest time. And then one of the best book events in the States, in Atlanta, is the National Book Club Conference. That's every August, and that is a book lover's delight. There are, I don't know, scores of your favorite black writers get together in Atlanta. You sit down in intimate settings, you talk. It's really, really nice. You have there's the Walter Mosley luncheon and the Terry McMillan dinner and the Terrie Williams. Maybe I think there's another luncheon for Terry, but it really is a very intimate group of people, and it's book clubs. So you'll have 700 people, and book clubs, if no one knows, they are the bread and butter of a lot of writers, self-published, mainstream publishing. Book clubs are really the bomb, for real. These folks buy books, they read books, they tell everybody whether they loved your book or hated your book. You hope they love your book, but even when they tell you they don't like it, there's somebody who will say, well, maybe she didn't like it, but I'm going to check it out anyway, because everybody has an opinion, right?
Definitely.
But the National Book Club Conference in Atlanta is really a fabulous place to go.
Excellent. All right, look, the show is about positive role models to enhance the youth, to let them know that they can be successful. Who were your role models when you were coming out, or who's a role model that you look up to that write books or publishers? Who's inspiring to you?
Well, my first role model is my mom.
Of course.
Yeah, my mom is a bad sister.
Okay.
My mom had 6 kids, went to college while we were growing up, but went back, and when she was 62, she got her master's degree and became a teacher.
Wow.
So she is a bad sister.
She's a bad lady.
Yeah, she is. And Marie Brown is, we call her the grande dame of black publishing. Marie is a literary agent. She has been in the industry probably 40 years. She started way back when, where there were nothing black other than probably a chair or something, as an editor at Doubleday.
Right.
And Marie is someone who is giving and kind and bright and knowledgeable, and I don't know where we would all be, any of us, in publishing without Marie Brown.
Okay. Is there any inspirational word that you'd like to give my audience at this time?
Be true to yourself. Read, and not read just because I'm in publishing, but read, and you got to get your mind on point, because it's serious out here. You have to stay clear, and you have to pay close attention.
Okay. All right. We want to give your number, your email address. You're going to give the number, your email address. I'm sorry.
I'm going to give them your number.
Yeah, Mike, they ain't going to get me. I'm just taking voice messages right now. But
the email is
please.
laduggy2004@yahoo.com.
All right. What's the name of the company you work for?
I work for Grand Central Publishing, which is part of the Hachette Book Group USA.
Okay. All right. You just stop picking at me, too. All right. Look, let's talk a little bit more about these books. We want to get them in the right frame of mind. These are some of your authors that you publish.
Right.
Okay.
These are actually, the 3 books here, this is my fall powerhouse right here.
Okay.
Corinne Steffens with the Vixen Diaries, Teri Woods, True to the Game 2, and Felicia Snoop Pearson with Grace After Midnight. But there's lots of things coming up.
Okay.
So in June of 2008, Faith Evans is doing her memoir.
Okay.
And Faith is going to be telling a real story about Biggie and Tupac and all kinds of things.
Excellent.
I think people be really interested in that book.
Yeah, I think so too. Not just the hip hop world.
Exactly.
Exactly. Who else you got coming up?
Mary Morrison. She's doing a new erotica series. The name with the erotica series is Honeybee. New book is coming out in March of 2008. It's called Sexcapades.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be kind of hot, and you have to be of a certain age to read it.
Okay.
Get your parents' approval.
Always.
Yeah,
always.
right.
Yeah. Okay. Now, are your books online if someone wanted to order these books?
This is the strange thing. You can go to Amazon.com. You can go to AALBC.com as well to buy these books when they come out. Sure.
Okay. All right, so those are the 2 sites that
I think folks, AALBC.com in that order, and then Amazon.com.
Okay, in that order. That sounds better.
It does sound better.
Yeah.
The publishing house, they don't sell books directly from the site. I think there's maybe one that does. But I kind of think as publishing evolves and everything is just so internet, online driven, they may change their mind and do a little something different with that too. But you have all the bookstores and those relationships that the publishing houses have with the bookstores. So that's a little.
So let me just ask you now: 90% of what you sell are black authors. You publish.
No, the publishing house, no, across the board, and 90% are white authors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we do Stephen Colbert, James Patterson, Walter Mosley, who's not a white author, but I mean, this company specializes in strong commercial fiction, nonfiction, celebrity type books, but lots of other books as well.
Yeah, the reason why I asked that because I don't want people to get the wrong impression that you're only selling black author books. You across the board. You're letting them know that you're doing everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. These are the 3 I happen to be the publicist on for this fall season.
Okay. All right. Okay. And you also, once again, let's talk about a radio station because we don't want to leave that out. You're on
WBAI.
At 93.
99.5 FM on your dial.
On what day?
It is Fridays from 11 a.m. to noon.
And the name of the show?
The name of the show is Off the Page.
Off the Page.
Which is off the hook.
Okay.
We keep it real on Off the Page.
All right. We're down to our last 2 minutes. Is there anything that I left out that you might want to interject to my audience?
Where's your book?
My book is up and coming 2009.
Is it written?
Yeah. No. It's
not. Is there an editor in the house?
Yeah, I need an editor. Let me fish out there, see if I can get an editor in here. But I'm working on it. It's mostly pictures because my book is about my upbringing in the Winbrook Housing Projects, which is the show is... Oh, where's the sign?
Where's Winbrook?
Winbrook Housing Projects here in White Plains.
Okay.
I grew up... It's 1 block away. I grew up there, and I was inspirational in starting them to keep from tearing down the playground. They wanted to turn it into a parking lot and turn it into a playground for the kids. And I started that, and I did different kind of program. I had a track meet. I did an autumn fest for Halloween, and I had like I said, I started this show about positive role models to let people know. And we've done a lot of things. We've been very, very blessed to be on 23 years, and I've been a little bit everywhere.
That's great.
But,
yeah, but you got to write that book.
I got to write that book.
You do, like write it.
Yeah, I gotta
type
write
it.
Yeah,
or something.
Or something. Or talk it.
That you could do. Somebody else can type it up for you.
Yeah, I'm good at talking, so I'll get me a stenographer or something. Somebody to write it up.
Cool.
All right? All right, but let's not forget about you before we close out.
Okay.
Let's give your title, your name once again, and the publishing company you work for.
Okay. Linda Duggins, Grand Central Publishing, part of Hachette Book Group, and I'm the Director of Multicultural Publicity.
All right, Linda. I want to thank you.
Thank you. This has been fun.
For being a part of Winbrook Pride.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with the radio show as well. Keep up the great work.
And continued success to you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless. All right. My guest is publisher Linda A. Duggins, and I hope that you will continue to watch Win.